The world's gone mad. The world has actually gone fucking mad. I got a message the other day off my friend, right, to an Instagram account, and he was like, listen, you got to check this out. So there I goes, clicks on the link, right, have a look at it, and lo and behold, do you know what it is? It's some guy emptying water from a drum, like a one of those blue plastic fucking drum things, with a spoon, right? But the concept behind it is for every follow he gets, he'll remove one spoon of water. And this guy, right, he's only been doing it for like 3 days, and he has about 90 plus thousand followers. 90 plus thousand followers he has for removing water from a drum, like a big tub. Just let that sink in for a minute, right? 90 odd thousand people have followed this guy for emptying water from a bucket, a big bucket basically, into a little bucket. And this is probably one of the causes to my mini meltdown the other week, right? Because this is what I was saying. And it's hard to not try and sound bitter when you're saying this, but it's like, I'm putting energy and time and love into everything I'm producing, and I'm, being vulnerable and opening myself up to others to allow them to feel less alone and for them to know that they're not going through this by themselves. And I struggle to get any sort of engagement, any sort of momentum with followers when it comes to Instagram or TikTok. And then you got some guy in the back shit end of nowhere emptying water from a drum, a big fucking bucket, into a little bucket, and he's got 90 odd thousand followers. And you just think, what have we become? What are we doing? Like it seems to be any sort of content or creation with any sort of real substance to it struggles. People don't want to sit there, and they don't have the attention span or the capacity, the will to want to sit there and listen through a long form video or to listen to anything that's somewhat educational. It's that brain rot, isn't it? People, you hear it everywhere at the moment: brain rot, brain rot, brain rot. And our kids, our next generation at the moment are just, their little minds are being warped and mashed and thrown around and just completely altered for just a state of just, no. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, I had a mini meltdown the other week. I felt like giving up. Do you know what I mean? I felt like giving up. I couldn't see the point in what I was doing. I didn't feel like the platforms maybe I was using were the right ones, or if what I was trying to do and what I was creating just wasn't resonating with anyone, which isn't true, because I get messages from people a lot saying that they're watching and that what I'm doing is helping them. And for example, there's a guy back home from where I'm from, and he got in contact with me because he'd seen what I'd been doing, and he asked me, how can he get off of this and get off of that, and we spoke for a little bit, and he's now cut right down into what he was trying to quit. And he comes back to me and says, what you've done for me has really helped me, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without you, and all those sort of nice comments. And I get comments on YouTube, people saying, we're watching, we're enjoying it, and it's great. It really is great, and it does make what I'm doing worthwhile. And I do see those positives. It's just hard when you're in such a negative headspace to allow them to be reinforced or to acknowledge them for what they are. Because in that moment in time, all you want to do is just acknowledge and recognize the negative stuff that's happening. Like, I'm not growing fast enough, and people aren't watching, and my numbers are going down, and all that bullshit. But it's peaks and troughs. I mean, and some days it goes up, some days it goes down, and it is what it is. But I'd rather have a fewer follower count but loyal people that are there for the right reasons, and people that are taking away good things from it and that I'm helping. I'd rather that than a large scale amount of followers on my platforms, but there's no loyalty in there, or there's no real depth within those followers. And just back quick to the amount of followers, I get it. It's like, we'll put that on my head, thank you. Um, I get it because, like, as I've said before, I didn't start this for followers or for fame or for glory or for money. I started to help people, and I'll go into that a bit later on in the video. So it's not that I'm down about how many followers I'm getting or that I'm not reaching enough people. It's the fact that I want this to work. I kind of need this to work. This is the career path I've chosen, is to put myself out there to help people. And I have bigger plans, I have bigger ideas, and I can't fulfill them without having the backing, if that makes sense. So it's a rock and a hard place, double-edged sword. Because I can't go back to it. I can't go back to a 9 to 5. I tried a 9 to 5 and it just don't work for me. My brain just ain't wired for a 9 to 5. I can't understand the concept of it. I don't want to conform to it. To be in the same place for, say, 40 years, 50 years, until you retire, just doing the same thing day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. You get the fucking idea. Just, I can't get my head around it. I can't do that. The thought of that just brings me with fills me with crippling dread, fear, and hopelessness. And it's not that I don't want to work. Like, I enjoy working. I've had many jobs, and I think it's just my brain, how it's wired. Like, maybe the ADHD part of me. I can't be in an office. I tried office work. I worked in finance, I worked in investments, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, the money was nice. The reason I stayed there was because every month you'd get a nice bit of pay in the bank, and that sort of kept you there for a bit longer and a bit longer and a bit longer. But I was never really happy in that environment. The jobs I've enjoyed the most have been like even picking potatoes or out on the farm, out in the field, doing stuff, a bit of manual labor. And, you know, I worked in a recycling sort of center in the offices there, but it was different because in the day-to-day within the office, I was out on sites and I was doing different things, meeting new people, and I liked that variety. I couldn't just sit in the fucking desk and just look at my screen all day. It just drive me fucking insane. Yeah, I remember when I was working in the offices and stuff, and you'd get there late, ADHD, hello. I'd get there late and get moaned at for being late, and it's like, fuck's sake, you know, I get it, I'm late, I'm sorry. And like, I'm only like 5 minutes late, you know, it doesn't matter if you're 5 minutes late or 1 hour late or 1 minute late or 1 hour late, you're still late. So me being me, I thought, okay, well, there you go, you've laid the marker down, let's see. So if I was running late, I'd be like, well, it doesn't matter what time I get in, because if I'm 1 minute late or 1 hour late, I'm still fucking late. So I'll be in when I'm in. That probably wasn't the best philosophy to go to work with, but I thought, if you're not going to cut me a break, then why the fuck should I bust my ass for you? And I used to not argue, but try and defend myself and say, listen, I know I'm late, but judge me on what I do in the work, not for my lateness. I might be 5 minutes late, but I'm still going to work hard while I stop here. I'm going to get what I need to get done, etc., etc. And you know, there'll be some people that come in early, but they spend an hour and a half in the fucking kitchen chatting away and making tea, and you know, and you're thinking they're not getting moaned at because they're in the work, but they're not actually doing any work. So as a boss, should you not be reprimanding them more than me? At least when I come in 5 minutes late, I'm at work, I'm to work, I'm here to work, I'm straight on it. Whereas this person over here is just taking the piss out of you. He's costing you money. I'm not costing you money. So why are you having a go at me? You should, you know, readdress your priorities here and see what the bigger picture is, buddy. But anyway, I'm fucking going off on a tangent. And yeah, there was a realization I came one time when I was walking to work, and I'd see the same faces every day on the way to work. And it was like, if I don't see them, it's like they're either sick or off work for whatever reason, or they're late, or I'm late. Most of the time it's me being late, I suppose, but I would know if I was late or not because I wouldn't see this person. And that just started making me think, like, everyone just does the same thing. The same routine in the morning, the same walk to work, the same desk, the same computer, the same fucking environment. And I was just like, this can't be life. This can't be how life is. I don't want to accept it. I can't do this. Not if it's like this. I need to do something else. I can't do my life like this. No fucking way. Has anyone else had those sort of realizations, epiphanies, the existence of life? Just like, what are we all doing here? As you could probably tell, I started to maybe not be so interested in the work I was doing in that environment, and some relationships, predominantly with the boss, and that got a bit more sour. And I remember one time one of the directors came over to my desk and he sat down next to me and he was like, "Listen, Cameron, you need to sort yourself out, and if you want to achieve anything here, and start prioritizing, what's important, and you know, start pointing around to these other people, like this guy, he's been here for 20 years, this guy's been here for 15, this guy's been here for 14, this guy's been here for 17." And he's like, "Do you not want that? Do you not want all this?" And it was that moment, this guy, I'll forever thank him for bringing the realization to me, to my front door, even though I was already having these sort of thoughts anyway. He just fucking spelt it out for me, like clear as day, crystal fucking clear. And I looked around after that and I was like, no, I do not want this. Absolutely not, mate. Get me the fuck out of here. I am checking out, son. So basically that day, wrote my resignation, handed it in, and I was off. See you later. And then at that point, did a couple more jobs after that, trying to just find a way. I moved up to Glasgow for a bit. We can talk about that maybe a bit on another episode. But yeah, I moved up to Glasgow for a wee while, and then I had a great time, by the way. A lot of fun, but a lot of debauchery and a lot of things I shouldn't have been doing. Then I realised probably not the best environment for me. So I moved back home, and that's when I got the job in the cycling centre. But I still wanted more. I still felt like there was more for me to do and more for me to achieve. And there's a big world out there. I was like, I need to go see it. I need to go explore it. So that led me to Southeast Asia. Where does anybody go when they need to find themselves? Fucking Southeast Asia. So I ended up in Southeast Asia. I travelled with one friend at the time. And met a load of people there, and I had this little group with us. And honestly, Southeast Asia was the best time of my life. Not for the right reasons, maybe, but I went there to find myself. And again, it's just how I was. It's just my way of life, I suppose. Wherever I went, just a bit of trouble found me, and spent a lot of time, spent a lot of my money on partying. But what a time it was, man! Honestly, best time of my life. Maybe I'll do an episode on just Southeast Asia, because I could talk about Southeast Asia for a long time. So anyway, we'll do that. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do an episode on Southeast Asia, and let you know exactly what went down. I was going to say Chinatown, but maybe I should say in Thai Town. What went down in Thai Town? Let me know. And fucking, I lost my fall again. Jesus, cramming. Fucking hello. What was I saying? Southeast Asia. So yeah, where does anybody go when they want to find themselves? Southeast Asia. And I went there to find myself. I didn't find myself, but it's going to sound so cheesy. If I didn't find myself, I found love of my life. Yeah, you can all tell me how fucking cheesy that was in the comments. Just comments. You can tell me how cheesy that was. I know, I'll take it. But anyway, yeah, found her. Found my girlfriend, my current girlfriend, my still girlfriend to this day. And that was back in 2016. I went to Thailand, or Southeast Asia. And I met her in Thailand in 2017. And yeah, incredible. Met her and only like 3 or 4 days on an island called Koh Lanta. Spent a lot of time together. She would say I followed her around the island and chased her from beach to beach, but she's lying. And then, yeah, fortunately, I was coming to the end of my travels for reasons I can tell in another video. And she was just starting, so she carried on. I went home. We kept in contact, and within a year and a half later, 2018, I moved to Copenhagen, where I am right now, or to Denmark. And, overall, it's been the best decision of my life moving here. It's got me out of circles that I needed to get out of. It got me out of habits I needed to get out of. It got me out of routines that I needed to get out of. Give me a new lease of life. Give me a different purpose. Give me a reason. But it hasn't come without struggles, It's hard to adapt to it's not a mad difference in culture, but still a new culture, a new language, new vowels. And yeah, probably came here a bit naively. I mean, if you want me to, again, I probably will maybe do another episode with talking about moving to Copenhagen or to another country, and the pros and cons, or the trials and tribulations of being somewhere else and having to adjust. But yeah, I probably came off the plane a bit naively. I came out and I thought I'd come over here, I'd get a job, everything would be fine, live our lives happily ever after. But it wasn't to be. I struggled to find a job at first, and I eventually found one making facades, like windows and facades, on like a large scale. By the way, I'd never done this before in my life, but that's the story of my life as well. I've had so many jobs that I've never really done. I haven't done at all. I just try them out, see what happens. So yeah, I made windows and facades, and that went all right until COVID. And then COVID happened, and then obviously I got made redundant. And then yeah, I was working in the warehouses and stuff, like packing boxes, and and it's hard for me to sort of for my ego anyway, for my pride. It was hard for me to accept it. My girlfriend was at the time when I was redundant, and that she was taking a lot of the bills financially and taking that pressure off me, and I was slowly just giving up. And yeah, my ego and pride didn't like the fact she was doing that. I didn't like the fact that I'd gone from, investments and banking and finance and office and three-piece suits and champagne bars, and to now packing boxes in a warehouse. To me, it was sort of like it was a fall from grace, but it was hard to accept for a while. And I moved to Copenhagen and ended up working in a restaurant as a sous chef. Never been a chef in my life, by the way. Again, did that for a wee while. So it's been a struggle, because I don't have any real qualifications. I don't have anything on paper, any degrees or certificates, or I left school at 16, started working, and it's been an adventure since then. And yeah, it's probably a fault of my own, not having those, not doing more at school, and yeah, not maybe thinking about the bigger picture long term. I was just living in the moment. I was just living in for day to day, weekend after weekend, living for that basically, just enjoying my youth and not really paying much attention. I'm going to get older. I'm going to have a family and a career maybe. And so people say don't live with regrets. And I wouldn't say I regret it, but it is something that frustrates me. That I am where I am because of the decisions I made, because I chose drugs and drink and partying over my future. But maybe I didn't think I was going to get that far. Maybe I thought I was going to live fast and die young. I don't know. Subconsciously, maybe. So I've been trying to figure out what to do whilst I've been in Copenhagen, and moving around, trying different things and seeing what works for me and seeing what doesn't work for me. And I just sort of realized I need to do something. I need to find something I want to do, something that I can do, something that brings me a purpose and a joy and fulfillment. And because like I said earlier, like I've only got so much time on this planet, and I want to use it. I really feel like I've wasted time. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to do something that's purposeful. And so I thought I'll do all this, the podcast and the YouTube channel and the socials, and trying to help people. I want to help people. I want to try and make a change in the world in some form, to some significance, I suppose. And this is only like the beginning. There's bigger plans, like I said. What did I say I was going to talk about at the beginning of this fucking video? Have I already spoke about it or not? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm thinking about building a community. I'm thinking about building centres where people can come and get the help they need, maybe before getting professional help. And the mental health crisis at the moment is mental, no pun intended. But it is. There's people on waiting lists for years to get some sort of help, and where do they go in the meantime? The time they have to wait before they get seen, that might not be soon enough. People might give up by then. So why don't we create sort of a middle way where people can go and get they can go and speak to someone or speak to people, like-minded people in the same situation, a community sort of based, where you can go and get some sort of support until you get seen professionally. Because I'm sick of people, checking out too soon before they should be. It shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening. And this is where I see my life. This is where I see my future. This is the path I've chosen. And it's the path I'm going to continue to take. And some days will be shit. Some days are going to be great. And I need to accept that. I need to realise that I can have all the belief in the world, but if I don't have the patience, then my belief ain't going to last that long. Because without the patience, then there's no point in belief, because it ain't going to happen overnight. So I need to believe in my patience. I have patience and belief. And, you know, someone commented on my meltdown the other week, and they said it perfectly. You know, there's strength in surrender, I think it was. Like surrendering control. If I just allow it to be what it will be, and when it will be, and just enjoy, cliche, just enjoy the journey, just enjoy the process of it all. I do believe that all of us together can change the world. We can make this a better place for everyone to live. It's just going to take a bit of time and a bit of patience and a whole lot of belief. Now, I don't know if I covered what I said I was going to cover later on. I think I did. If I didn't, let me know. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for showing me support. Thanks for coming along on the journey. Remember to like and subscribe. Goes a long way to helping the channel. Goes a long way to creating this community that I really want to build. Check out the other videos, because don't forget, I'm cycling to Athens from Copenhagen in the summer. That's going to be a journey. But in the meantime, I'll catch you soon. Be good to yourself.